we're looking forward to getting started in the 117th Congress because there's so much work that needs to be done. Whatever happens in the future is going to happen. During the Trump era, we've just been all trying to get to tomorrow. And now we're trying to get to January 20th, and it will be a new day in America.
Thank you, Chairman. So speaking to that point of work, you said before that if you look back in American history, largely black Americans have been left out of big sweeping pieces of legislation. The New Deal, you cited the GI Bill. As you talked about the reparations conversation, I'm curious to what degree you think that will be a priority for your caucus in the 117th, and can we expect recommendations, for instance, from the CBC on it?
Well, that's a question that I think Karen Bass and whoever's elected as the new CBC chair, it's my understanding those elections will take place in a few weeks, will discuss. The caucus has been very clear. We want to provide relief to everyday Americans who are struggling with all the pain, the suffering, and the death, and at the same time make sure that we are providing relief to those Americans who have been disproportionately and adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. That's the African American community, that's the Latino community, that's Indian country, that's everyday Americans in rural America, and those are many in the immigrant communities. And so I think from the standpoint of COVID-19, our immediate concern, we want to provide relief to everyone, but of course, the data should drive in part where the resources go, because the COVID-19 pandemic is not over for any of us until it's over for all of us. With respect to the history, we've been grappling with, and I'll then yield to Catherine, we've been grappling with systemic racism that has been in the soil of this country for 401 years. We have come a long way in America. We still have a long way to go. This is the greatest country in the history of the world. But we're still working through some challenges. And when you trace the history, our resident historian, the great Jim Clyburn, savior of our democracy, Jim Clyburn will tell you that when there have been big moments of transition where we are trying to deal with pain that the American people are dealing with, the record speaks for itself in terms of the New Deal and the GI Bill as it relates to who was explicitly included and who was explicitly excluded. The record speaks for itself. Hopefully we're at a different time in America. I believe we are. And we look forward to working with Democrats and Republicans to provide relief to all Americans.